Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome to WatchYouWant.com. Thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at an emerging classic, nay, an emerging icon from the house of Vacheron Constantin. This is the Vacheron Constantin Patrimony Contemporaine reference 85180. Now, the thing about this watch is that watches like this were responsible for launching Vacheron into that pantheon of the Holy Trinity. Along with Audemars Piguet and Patek Philippe, Vacheron was one of those three firms that was head and shoulders above the rest in the horology industry in the mid-century, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, building often ultra-thin formal references, very much in the image of this one right here, that established their reputation for the ultimate in elegance, refinement, the ultimate in movement finishing, the ultimate in good taste and enduring style. The irony there is that while Vacheron, uniquely among the Holy Trinity, has stayed true to its roots as a formal watch, a dress watch specialist, perhaps it's Vacheron alone that doesn't have a clear-cut company icon, that one-word name that springs to mind when someone says Vacheron at a watch luncheon, or someone mentions Vacheron on a collector forum. After all, Audemars Piguet has its Royal Oaks and its even more aggressive Royal Oak Offshores, and today Patek Philippe plays a little bit on the dress side and the sports side with the Calatravas and the Nautilus, so they've got their icons on both sides of the equation. I would argue that the Patrimony Contemporaine, now known exclusively as of 2014 as the Patrimony in the VC catalog, is the emerging icon and the face of Vacheron Constantin. Let's go over why that is. Now, 2004, Vacheron debuts the Patrimony Contemporaine, and it's a bit of a sensation, first and foremost because the watch was gorgeous. It had some friends before they even hit store shelves, but also because they took the dress watch and they expanded it to 40 millimeters. Those of us who've grown up in the modern watch era have grown up with Rolexes on our wrist. The idea that you can wear a 40mm dive watch to the office with a suit. The idea that you're going to have the utility of a date. That you're going to have an automatic winding movement that you don't need to tend constantly. And that you're going to have a reasonably legible large dial that fills out your wrist. The idea of applying that to a dress format was considered a little bit scandalous even as recently as a decade ago. And in 2004, Vacheron broke the mold. Now, 2006, at SIHH in Geneva, Vacheron debuts the model you see here. And that's when you get the date. That's when you get the in-house automatic winding caliber, still 40 millimeters in a beautiful 5N red gold. Let's go into what makes this watch special and why it has endured for so long, and why I have a feeling this style is going to become a timeless icon of the Vacheron catalog going into the future. It all starts with red gold, namely 5N 18-karat red gold on beautifully articulated lugs and case, but it continues inward. This is a watch that has to be visually devoured from the outside in. We move to these indexes. Look how long they are, and note the careful use of tension in this dial. Silvered, yes, grained, yes, but it's these applied, hand-applied red gold indexes that stretch, splaying out from the edges, not quite touching the circumference of the dial, not quite touching the edge of the case. They're reaching inward towards the cannon pinion. These indexes at 12, 3, 6, and 9 are tapering inward. And then at center, you have these gorgeous 18-karat red gold hands to match. Not Dauphine, not Alpha, they're a sort of baton shape and of perfect length, with the tip of each just kissing the minute track and the hour track respectively. I have to give a hand to Vacheron. Great hands are the hallmark of a great watch, and this one is right on the money. But there's a lot more going on here. Note the subtle use of red gold. Have you seen it yet? They're the dot indexes of the minute track. Each one reveals the wink and a nod secret between this watch and its owner. This dial is only silvered as a top coat. The dial itself is solid 18-karat red gold. And these little dot indexes have real depth to them because they are drilling through the upper silver top coat into the red gold base. So they have texture and they have luster and they have depth to them that really only comes across in person. But boy, was it worth the effort. All of that effort of creating a giant piece of finely finished red gold just so you could see a peek of it around the outside. That's Vacheron Constantin at its best. Quality where you can see it, and quality for the psychic satisfaction of knowing it's there. Of course, you could see the Maltese cross index at 12 o'clock is applied with a discreet, small print company marquee, the way they used to do it in the old days. The watch may be of modern proportions, but Vacheron Constantin does not need to brag. Now, turning it over, you can see a little bit more of the detailing and what it means to have a Geneva seal watch in this day and age. Now, during that mid-1880s, Geneva, the canton, and the city wanted to protect the traditions of their watchmakers as Swiss watchmakers began to spread out into the Vallée de Joux, the cantons of Vaud and Neuchâtel, and that savoir-faire began to drain out. So the standards of finishing in the city, mechanical and aesthetic, were codified. And in that tradition, Vacheron Constantin is by far the largest, most prolific, and finest practitioner. Now you could see that there are bridges and plates here that feature dressage finishing that removes the stamping and milling birth scars of the pieces of metal, not just on the top, but underneath where you can't see it. There are screws whose pilot underneath the threaded stems, after they're threaded into metal where you can't see them, nevertheless retain mirror finish. That's why these are $20 screws. You can see that there are Côte de Genève on the bridges with beautifully mirror-polished anglage, and there's anglage on the spokes of the wheels of the drivetrain, almost hidden away. There's beautiful tight perlage on the base plate, and there's graining on everything from the wheels themselves to the center of the winding rotor. And the winding rotor itself, supported by ball bearings, is a gorgeous engraved Clou de Paris radial 22-karat gold weight. Everything about this movement speaks to the quality of Vacheron's finishing, and all of their finishing is an art taught in-house. They have their own training program. It takes between 6 to 18 months to learn how to finish in any one discipline, whether it's dressage, poly noir, that's black polish, beveling, especially interior angles, where two angles meet at an acute angle, very difficult to teach. That's one of those 18-month courses. Some of these screws are polished to the extent that they have what's called black polish or poly noir, such that they only reflect light in one direction. So from all angles but that one, they appear to almost be a black hole for light. Not reflective, just a dark sink of light. Gorgeous, and something that really has to be seen in person. If you own this watch, you must own a loupe or a field microscope, because there's a reason that 1/3 to 1/2 of the value of a Vacheron watch is in the finish of the movement. Own this watch and you'll see why. This Vacheron Constantin Patrimony Contemporaine reference 85180 is a gorgeous modern classic, and if I had to place my money on the table, I would say this is one of the few surefire icons that will emerge out of our age in high horology. Not just a bold style statement, going big, going with the date, going with automatic winding in the formal segment. It also includes Vacheron's own watchmaking savoir-faire, not just in finishing, but in engineering and watchmaking. A true manufacturer since 2001, they released their first in-house automatic movement in 2005, 1 year before they went with the 85180. So you're getting Vacheron's finishing, design, and watchmaking competence in this watch. Now a true manufacturer with an icon on the way, the soon-to-be iconic Vacheron Constantin Patrimony Contemporaine is taking this great manufacture to the next level. Now it comes with a beautiful boxed set. You can see it on our website. It comes with a polishing cloth. It comes with an outer packing box. It comes with an inner display box with a viewing port. It comes with an inner travel box. It's a box in a box in a box. And if any watch is worth it, I believe it is this Vacheron Constantin Patrimony Contemporaine. See it on our website, watchyouwant.com.